Before we start, stay to the end because this week we found out that Europe has just 6 weeks left of jet fuel. 6 weeks! That is not a drill, and the business implications are enormous. This week in sustainability, here are your top 10 stories ranked by what the world is talking about most. Number 10. UK scraps carbon tax on electricity. If your organisation pays large electricity bill, this one changes your cost base directly. The UK government confirmed it will scrap the carbon price support mechanism on electricity. The reasoning? It has done its job in driving coal off the grid. The move is designed to make electricity cheaper than gas, which should accelerate electrification of transport and heating. For large energy users, this could meaningfully reduce operating costs. Number 9. Microsoft pulls back on carbon removal. For any organisation building a net zero strategy that relies on offsets or removals, this is a signal worth watching. Microsoft, the world's largest corporate buyer of carbon removal credits, reportedly told suppliers it would pause future purchases. Microsoft accounted for 90%, although I have read up to 96%, of all carbon removal purchases worldwide last year. Their emissions have risen as AI-powered demand has increased, and stockpiling credits no longer fits the strategy. If the biggest buyer steps back, the entire removal industry feels it. Number 8. The US states rush to secure clean energy tax credits. Businesses with US operations or supply chains linked to the US energy market should be tracking this closely. Federal tax credits for wind and solar in the US expire on the 4th of July this year. States including California, Colorado, and New York are racing to get projects started before the deadline. Southern California, Edison alone has been ordered to add 6,000 megawatts of clean energy. The 30% investment tax credit makes these projects viable, and once it's gone, energy costs could shift. Number 7. AI data center energy use surged by 50% in 2025. If your organisation uses cloud services or AI tools, your Scope 3 footprint is growing whether you realise it or not. The IEA confirms that electricity consumption from AI data centres jumped 50% last year. The US generated over 1,162 terawatt-hours from renewables, a 10% increase. But demand is outpacing supply. Tech companies are scrambling for power, and some are pairing batteries with gas turbines rather than renewables. The AI boom is becoming one of the biggest energy stories of the decade. Number 6. Global EV sales surge on fuel price spike for fleet managers and F&B logistics teams. The economics of EV adoption just shifted dramatically. EV sales surged worldwide as consumers looked for alternatives to soaring fuel prices. India saw purchases jump 87% year on year, the UK recorded a record month, and US used EV sales grew 17%. New data also showed that average new EVs are now cheaper to buy than petrol cars in the UK. The cost argument against switching is disappearing fast. Number 5. Clean energy overtakes coal globally for the first time. This is a structural shift that affects energy procurement, grid planning, and corporate renewable targets across every sector. According to Ember's Global Electricity Review, clean power made up 34% of global electricity generation in 2025, overtaking coal's 33% for the first time since 1919. Solar alone met 25% of new demand, the first time any renewable source outpaced fossil fuels on that metric. Global coal generation actually declined. We are watching the energy system transform in real time. Number 4. China doubles renewables target for 2035. Organisations sourcing from Chinese supply chains or competing with Chinese manufacturers need to factor this into strategy now. China wants to double its green power production by 2035. It already produces around a third of global renewable energy and dominates 80% of the global supply of solar panels, wind turbines, and batteries. Chinese solar exports doubled in a single month, with 50 countries hitting record imports. The Rockefeller Foundation put it well: energy independence is no longer an aspiration. It is the lowest cost path to economic stability. Brilliant. Number 3, Europe faces jet fuel shortage within weeks. If your business relies on air freight, international travel or tourism, this is an immediate operational risk. The headache of International Energy Agency warned that Europe has roughly 6 weeks of jet fuel left. Lufthansa cancelled 20,000 short-haul flights. Air France-KLM introduced a €100 surcharge on long-haul routes. European jet fuel prices have roughly doubled and airfares are up 24% year on year. The downstream impacts of the Strait of Hormuz closure are spreading fast, and there is no green alternative for jet fuel at scale. Number 2, global energy crisis deepens as Iran talks stall. Every organisation with energy costs, supply chain exposure, or international operations is affected by this. No exceptions. Oil prices remain above $100 a barrel. The US extended its ceasefire with Iran indefinitely, but kept the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in place. Pentagon documents suggest mine clearance alone could take 6 months. Fertiliser prices have more than doubled, threatening food production globally. Oil traders warned the disruption could trigger a global recession, and one oil boss called this the worst shock in his 40-year career. And number 1, the Strait of Hormuz and the energy security wake-up call. This is the defining business story of 2026 so far. It touches energy, food, supply chains, inflation, and the entire case for renewables. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is rewriting global energy, trade, and sustainability strategy in real time. Countries are scrambling for alternatives. China is reviving coal plants while simultaneously doubling down on renewables. The Gulf states are building entirely new trade routes to bypass the strait. Asian airlines are cancelling flights, and the IEA confirms that renewables are now cheaper and faster to deploy than any fossil fuel alternative. The war has made energy independence not just a climate ambition, but a national security imperative. Every business that has delayed its transition just got a very loud reminder of why it matters. So, top 3 mind-blowing environmental facts from this week. Global clean power outpaced coal for the first time in over 100 years. The last time coal had a smaller share of electricity generation was 1919. Number 2, 75% of Google's new code is now AI generated, up from 25% in 2024. Meta is targeting similar levels by mid-year. They've just made a massive round of redundancies, or at least going through the process of it now. So we can see that's happening. The energy cost of this is enormous. Number 3, China's solar exports doubled in a single month. 50 countries hit record Chinese solar imports in March. Africa and Asia accounted for 3/4 of the increase. If you want to be a part of our network, please DM me or comment below.